And wait for 13 seconds. That
Yep.
should be the bit rate.
That'll be it. Well, here comes the ad, so we're doing something right.
Oh yeah, there's the ad. It made. This should be live now. If it's not,
Yep.
something's gone horribly wrong.
I can
Which is
hear us.
which is par for the course at this point.
Well, it's like earlier, poor Dan was having problems as well. His stream was lagging about 10 minutes behind. So the couple of times we've done it.
Oh yeah, we've had those problems.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've all had those problems. At least any of us who have done any streaming.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did a whole Rocket League stream where no one could hear anything in my channel at all. I didn't know because the sound had stopped working. It happens.
Oh, yeah, your microphone kept randomly going off as well, didn't it?
Yep.
During Rocket League?
Yep.
So-
Oh, the problems I've had streaming. It's just nearly as bad as the problems I've had recording stuff for YouTube instead.
It's all
Well,
the
I've
same.
seen
It's
your
all the
Ghostbusters
same.
stuff, so.
It's just a pain.
Yeah. So are we ready to go then?
Oh, we've been live for a little while now, so you can
Okay, good.
start whenever you feel like, Will. You're
I
the
can
one that does
introduce
the
you.
intro.
Okay, great. Welcome then everyone to the Game Won't Play Itself episode 10. Yeah, we've made it to double figures.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Surprised yet? Because I am. And you know me by now. It's Will McKellar, it's Lard Teammaker. And joining me as always, it's James Atkinson.
Hi everybody. I'm on the bottom tonight.
He likes it on the bottom apparently.
Yeah.
And also you can see, right, over there,
Other way.
there, this way, one way or another, that way, is a fellow Battle Cattle member. He is Steve Miller, Mr. Steven.
Hello, everybody. I'm on the bottle tonight. Cheers.
Because he's been passing it around to us, because that's why we've been slightly delayed.
Hello.
How is everyone?
All right, I'll be
is it?
serious now.
No,
For a bit, anyway.
Serious? God,
Serious.
that's a different stream. you may have to go.
Serious is like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's all right. There you go. But anyway, how have we been? How's our week's been?
Busy, actually.
Been weak. It's been all right.
It's been alright. Busy on my end, but I actually played stuff. I was actually playing games up until we started going live. So
Bloody hell. That's good.
So was I, actually. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you were playing with ships.
I was playing with ships. I've just finished streaming with Vinus over on his channel, playing World of Warships, which was an awful lot of fun.
that game is a lot of fun, surprisingly.
We've
And
got
the-
an Ed into it. Ed downloaded it after watching Vimer stream it and just started playing it. He was on me the other day. He's like, this
One
is
of
so
those
much
games.
fun.
I mean, Simmer was playing it today. It'll go around like a new game in Battle Cattle is like a disease. It goes around everybody, and everyone goes, "Oh, give it a go!" And then this.
This is the sad truth. I have tried the
Yeah.
demo of World of Warcraft.
Just
and
why
I'm like,
we're all streaming Rocket League at this week. It's the game that we're playing at the moment.
it is the gateway drug.
It is the gateway drug.
So I mean, we might as well start then with what we've been playing, because might as well. So who wants to go first? Do you want to go first, James?
I can go
Should we let
first.
the guests?
It-
Yeah,
it's a-
we'll let James go first then.
All right. I streamed earlier this week, believe it or not, and I streamed 2 different games. Be still Will's beating heart. I think he's going to have a heart attack. A buddy of mine was like, "Hey, I just downloaded DayZ again. I want to try playing it." I'm like, "Well, I'll stream it." And he's like, "Cool. I'm also going to stream it." What then proceeded was the most boring hour and a half of DayZ footage ever, where both of us died twice to starvation. We couldn't find food.
Wow.
Not even zombies.
Wow.
And then, of course, there's my lovely little clip of the broken leg, which is 45 minutes condensed down to 2.
Haven't seen.
It's on the TGWPIS YouTube channel called
I will
Ode to
check this out.
It's Ode to a Broken Leg, where my character, just for walking upstairs, breaks his leg, and I have now found the new elite strategy, which is zombies can't hit you if you're prone. In DayZ. So when you're trying,
Have the developers never watched a zombie film?
I know,
because that's how they attack. They pile on. They make you prone, and then they eat your brains. That's the whole. The zombies do 2 things. They do that, and then they do, and that's it. That's a zombie.
Not. Nope.
They do the thriller dance.
They do the thriller dance.
They do the thriller dance.
Well, yeah, it's true.
But yeah, that's totally what happened. It was 45 minutes of me trying to get myself killed. I had a train of like about 2 to 3 zombies following me. Couldn't die. Tried on purpose. Couldn't die.
Did you not try like falling off a cliff or something? You know,
I
it's
was
bound to go
when you
somewhere.
have a
It's
broken
gate.
when you have a broken leg, you're stuck in the prone position, as in crawling on the ground. It's very hard to get to a cliff when you have to crawl slowly. I was waiting for me to have to just slowly starve to death. But luckily I found out that even if you're prone and you have a broken leg, you can crouch. And if you crouch, the zombies will eventually find you and try and hit you. And then in about 10 minutes, they'll eventually kill you and knock you unconscious.
So that's why you
Wow.
need a mobility scooter for. Because if they have that as an option in there, then you can at least try and climb into it and just ride off.
Just peace out! I'm out!
Peace out,
With a
witches.
broken leg, I mean, that's exactly the time that you need a mobility scooter. That's exactly what it's for.
It is.
When you don't have all of your legs. I mean, you know.
And the other thing too, it's like, you could build yourself a splint. They're like, oh yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I can build a splint. I'm gonna go over to this tree and carve some. Wait, I can't because I'm stuck in the prone position, which means I can't use my hands to do it. It was. I'm just sitting there, just going like, and afterwards, uninstall. I'm good for like another. They're like, this game is still an alpha. I'm like, this game is going to always be an alpha. It'll never not be an alpha. It's one of those
I'm just
perpetual
remembering-
green light games.
I just remember because of the PC Gamer Show at E3, whether they were actually talking about when it was coming out of Alpha, and no, I can't remember it.
No, don't know when it's ever going to come out of alpha. Don't think it ever will.
It's a StarCraft as a zombie games.
Yeah.
Isn't this, though, one of the perpetual problems now with having the green light process is that the games are kind of stuck in, oh, well, yeah, we're going to charge you for it. You'll pay for it. It's full price and everything. It's not finished. And you just never know if they're ever going to actually finish the thing.
It seems like that's the model for specifically the specifically that kind of game.
StarCraft.
StarCraft. The open world create craft post-apocalyptic thing. Like that's the model. Like Ark.
Yeah, we want to make a
Rain.
cross of Fallout and Minecraft, and so we'll put it on Greenlight and get other people to fund it for us, that kind of thing.
That seems to be the motto nowadays. Hey, I have this indie game. We'll throw it on Steam. Let's see if we can get a couple bucks for it. Is it done?
Sure.
I don't know.
It
You're-
seems to
you're
me like
writing-
almost the Peter Molyneux effect, really, doesn't it? Where you put these.
It's a bad idea. I mean, pre-release now is release. That's it. So you've got to treat it like that. Otherwise, people are going to get so bored of it that they'll get to the point where that they did with Atari in the 80s, where the games will become worthless. I think some of them already have. I mean, there was not even very long ago. There was a studio. I think they released a game called Sunset, and their name was something like Telltale Games, but it wasn't Telltale.
It
Games,
wasn't the good
actual,
Telltale games.
No, it was the other one, and they went out of business because the game they released just didn't have an audience there. Recently, the new Ghostbusters game movie tie-in, supposedly a biggish thing for that company to do. Movie Times do all right, but if you check out the statistics on Steam, it got 3,000 downloads. That's nothing. And this is for a game that's supported by a movie, by a company like Activision who's got the rights to it. So it's not. Yeah, it's.
And then you had the developers going, "Well, yeah, we developed it in 8 months."
Yeah, that's a problem there somewhere.
Yeah, it's
either you thought you were really, really good at programming and developing a game that turned out that everybody panned.
Nobody wanted, which is a real shame. But
I watched them stream it down at Loading Bar, and it just looked like a barely competent twin stick shooter. That was it.
Well, that's as far as I know, it's isometric-ish, isn't it? Top down.
Yeah, you think
Diablo-esque, really, isn't it?
Dead Nation.
Right. Okay.
And that's pretty much it. But yeah, for 9 months.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, and even
so maybe they'll make their money back when they release it for £1 in a month or something. Like
yeah, it's when it goes on Steam Summer Sale, they'll make their money back.
But again, the company behind that have closed down now because it's just not a viable thing. If you don't provide products that people can use and will recommend to their friends and things like that, then you're not providing a viable business model for what you're doing, which I think a lot of developers have missed.
And it's even funnier. I mean, if you look at like one of the other games I played, I'm in the FIFA 17 closed beta. So you think, okay, closed beta for this kind of a game, it's going to be a demo, right? You know, what's the average size of a demo download nowadays? Wait, maybe 1 gig, 2 gigs?
8 gig.
8 gig?
Yeah, 8 gig is
I would think it's more
realistic
like
these days.
8 gig? Yeah, I downloaded it last night. 29 gigs. It's the whole freaking game.
Jeez.
I've got.
But a lot of betas are sort of the game, aren't they?
I don't have I mean, for me, it's what I play FIFA. It's like it's the player career mode, it's the managerial career mode, it's the quick play. You know, I don't do online player foot team. It's just the game without the online aspects of it. I'm like, I don't need anything else. This is what I play FIFA for. It's updated.
Well, I mean, both Overwatch and Battleborn, if I remember rightly, were on PS4 as downloadable betas. They had open beta weekends. They were the game. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I just look at it. I'm like, the roster updates. It's insane. I mean, I'm sitting there going like, hey, cool, this is great. I can't stream it or show any screenshots of it or do anything like that because it's under an NDA. But it's like, well, it's the game. There it is. I mean, like, we're talking about like, okay, forever in beta, and then like, here's the beta, which is basically the finished product, just with certain bits cut out.
But then that's EA, and you kind of expect it with EA because they've got that history of releasing traditionally, so they work towards traditional releases.
I'm half expecting them to be like, okay, here's the beta to unlock the game. Here's the DLC that you need to buy to unlock the game.
It's a good model, and it is actually a good model.
But yep. But I played that. I played DayZ, which was a little bit on the frustrating side. I played a bit more No Man's Sky, just kind of getting lost. I just turned off the tips side of the game, and just decided I'm just going to wander around this wonderful world that is No Man's Sky. And I've been having a lot more fun with it like that. And I know that there's been some criticisms and stuff about it. I know there's some mods and stuff that started coming out for it on PC. I'll have to start checking them out.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at this.
There was an article in Eurogamer. I think it was. I've got it here somewhere. Which was, that was yesterday. Which is saying that disgruntled No Man's Sky players are putting Sony's refund policy back into the spotlight. That a lot of people aren't happy with it because I think a lot of people were promised stuff that didn't materialize. But from what I've watched of it, it's actually a pretty good game. There's a solid go around and collect things and make stuff with it game there.
It is, and it's what I've been preaching is that it's a baseline. Like if you look at it as like this is the start of what you could build to,
Mhm.
this is a
Mhm.
great thing. Because it's like, okay, they've got all that in there. They've got a beautiful graphics. They've got a solid gameplay, at least mechanics. Okay, now you need to building elements stuff is stuff you can do that. And people look at it and be like, oh, how come I couldn't do this right off the bat? Minecraft, you couldn't do 90% of what the game is now. They released it.
Sure.
They released it in updates over how many years? Did that come out?
You've got to
We're
also
still
look
waiting
at-
for the next one. We're still waiting for you're always waiting for the next thing in Minecraft. It's
the thing you've got to also bear in mind with this sort of stuff is I know that people are complaining, oh, this bit's not in here, this bit's not in there as well, but the community that was building up so much hype for this game of when did Sean Murray actually come out and go, well, this is what you'll be doing in the game? For years, he hardly showed little bits.
I know, but there was over on Reddit, on the No Man's Sky forums, there was one person who had listed everything. Every time that Sean Murray had said, well, this is what's going to be in the game, he had links to everything. He got handed off Reddit for it. He got so many complaints.
Brian Krantz.
Reddit. But, he did that. And there is a lot of stuff that Sean Murray had said, you're going to be able to do this in the game, that's not in there. But, it's like James has said, it doesn't mean that it won't be in there in a year's time, in 2 years' time. It doesn't mean the game won't grow and keep going.
Yeah,
or even get No Man's Sky 2, which will expand it even further.
And
when do they say it'll be available at launch?
and I know I was reading a Forbes article about it, and this was written by Paul Tassi, and he even said I'm not against paid DLC if it brings more to the table. And you almost feel like No Man's Sky could really, especially if it helped with the development, helped with building the world and bringing stuff, having the $4.99 model of DLC where it doesn't break the game, but if you want X, Y, or Z, and as long as it's not a pay-to-win system where it's hey, you want your spaceship to look like this, here's a spaceship skin for 99 cents.
Yeah.
If it helps with the development of the game, I'm all for that kind of...
Yeah, that's all good. I don't mind DLC as much as some people I know absolutely hate it, and I do get the idea that if you've paid 50 quid for a game, 60 quid for a game, you don't want to put it in only to find out that, hey, there's this other new bit which is exactly the same amount as you've just paid for the game, which you're not going to get, and now we want you to spend more money. You want to be able to play the game. You want to feel like you're getting the game for that.
Here is the true ending to the game that you need to buy. Didn't we tell you?
If Mass Effect had DLC, I'm just saying.
It did have DLC, but it wasn't that kind of DLC. It's like going to the movie, seeing seeing the Hobbit, the second Hobbit movie, and then just going it ending, and then going see the sequel in The Hobbit 3. And you're like, nobody fucking told me The Hobbit 3? I'm gonna pay $10 more to see the end of this movie? Really? By the way,
I mean, looking at stuff that I've played, that I've bought DLC for, and I'm not a big fan of buying stuff because I haven't got any money, But things like Battlefront, I've enjoyed Battlefront so much, I bought the season pass for it, and that again was the same price as the game, but it's kept me occupied. It's kept me coming back to it enough that I'm happy to pay that to get a bit more playability out of it.
You've had it's does your monetary investment equal the amount of time that you've gotten out of it? Do you feel that it's...
And actually, no, it probably doesn't, but it doesn't mean that I haven't got enough from it to kind of warrant spending out that money. It's not even just about the amount of time that you're playing the game. I think sometimes you're getting more out of it. I play Battlefront with 2 of my best friends. And it's that time spent with good friends. It's just as important for me as actually getting a game that works on release. And yes, Ubisoft, I'm talking to you. So yeah, there's
Unity.
the benefit of buying the DLC isn't always the time investment in it. I mean, Rocket League is a perfect example. I bought the Batmobile model in Rocket League. So what, 4 quid I think it was? Not a lot of money, but I have used that car every day since, because Now, if I try and change cars, everything seems funky and I can't play the game properly. But that's a different thing. The fun of having that car has meant that I've gone back to it. And it's my main car now. So there's plenty of stuff that you can get DLC in, which actually is I think a really legitimate way of doing it, and actually it helps the developers. It will benefit the gamers who want to go down that path, and the gamers who don't. Actually, 90% of the time, they've got a game there already.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got 2 examples of for and against for me in terms of DLC content. 4, Just Cause 3. Tiny little bits, but there's been a couple of expansions so far. One I played earlier in the year at Rezzed. It was a lot of fun because it was like it just had the flying suit chase through a load of rings around the fortress. So in terms of that for me is worth it, because then you've got the mechs as well, which have come out. So that's going to add to much more chaos and much more time spent playing it. But then on the other hand, the against Destiny DLC.
The thing about Destiny,
players were screwed out of a lot of stuff because of that, because they were expected to pay double. It's like, hey, you paid this game for 45 quid, great. Now a year later, guess what you're going to do if you want to actually have a story to this? Here's another 45 quid you want to pay for Taken King. And it's just grown from there, and it's that to me just is like, yeah, no, fuck that, you're ripping me off.
I mean, yeah, there's points where it sort of becomes an issue, and EA's Dungeon Keeper mobile game, which I was really looking forward to.
That's
when they brought that out, and it was, and now you've got to buy this thing, and now you've got to buy that thing, and I go, well, what's the point? So I've not played the game because the barrier to entry was, look, you've got to spend all this money to actually be any good at it. So
yeah,
and. But the thing is, this is probably somebody who still plays Destiny on a regular basis and is going to be buying the next expansion pack, is that I'm also an MMO player, and I look at Destiny as an MMO, and you look at World of Warcraft, it was always like, okay, it's $30 for the next expansion, it's $30 for the next expansion, it's $30 for the next expansion.
Yep.
It's a model that I'm used to, and I guess it's because I look at Destiny as not a traditional video game, but more as an MMO. Yeah. It makes sense because that's the MMO operating model.
I'm an old-time MMO player as well, and I think again, I'm used to that too, and I suppose that's why I don't have a problem with it. If you've not played anything but console games, because MMOs on consoles, there's this horribly shaky history of them, trying it out on Xbox Live, and it just not quite working. Anybody
remember EverQuest for PS2 or Final Fantasy 11?
11, that's right. Yeah, Final Fantasy Online. Yeah, no, it wasn't. And so I can see if you're not used to that model, then suddenly having that thrust upon you is, it's a big step. But yeah, I mean, I'm so used to having people or companies say, yeah, here's our next bit. Let's go and buy that next bit, and that'll expand the world for you. I've not got a problem with it. And if you forget, with an MMO, you're also paying a monthly fee 90% of the time to actually access the content you've already got as well. So it's not like you aren't paying for the game every single month.
Yeah,
and then you'll buy expansions on top of it too.
That's just crazy. Though in my head, and this is I used to play Guild Wars back in the day. I have the 2 expansions.
Good game.
Of Guild Wars.
Good game.
I love Guild Wars.
Good studio. Who their first thing was City of Heroes, which I played solidly for about 7 years. And I was on there the day that it opened in the UK to the day that it shut down servers. It was really, really great game where you could customize so much of your character, and you're making a superhero. So to be able to do that, it was brilliant. And then they went on to do Champions Online, which is a very, very similar game. So but great studio, done some very, very good stuff.
What you been playing, Mule Mucker?
Yeah, I'm done. That's about all I've been playing.
Okay, then as the guest, Steve, I'll let you say next.
Right. Well, I only really game when I'm streaming or when I'm making videos for things, and actually the reason that one of the reasons I stream, and one of the reasons I make videos, is because it gives me an excuse to do it. Otherwise, I run my own business, so what would happen is that I would just work all the time if I didn't have an excuse to go and do something else. So Monday I was playing Minecraft, which I'm on the Battle Cattle servers doing some Minecraft stuff now, which is going out on YouTube on Monday nights. Building a little house. It's a survival mode thing, so it's all. We've had it for 2-3 weeks now, 4 weeks maybe.
I haven't seen
it. It went live when I was on holiday, I think. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah. So I'm just starting to do sort of 20-minute chunks of time on that, which is great fun.
Turned into 2 hours. we know Minecraft. I was with a group that I normally play with on Minecraft. As my brother Curtis and Letitia Lemon. Now, we were going for the platinum of this on PS4, and we thought we've only got about 4 trophies. It's not going to take that long. 5-hour session.
Yeah, Minecraft is a big time sink if you don't kind of rein it in and go, right, I'm only doing this amount of time on it, which with a video you've got to do, so that's fine, but so that's always fun. I played The Division, which is on the PS4 with a good friend of mine, Joe. We run a thing called the Stephen and Joe Show, which goes out on Wednesday nights at 6:00 on our YouTube channel. That's always fun because it's gaming with friends, and that's always fun. I've known Joe for about 10 years, so you can't. So it might be longer than that now. I'm getting old, so you can't get away from the fact that we've got all of that history together. Joe actually is the Minecraft world champion at the moment. World champion's the wrong thing. He holds the record for playing Minecraft the longest amount of time. So really lovely guy, and it's really great to be able to do online stuff with him as well, because we've worked together in the past. We've got all that history together that I think makes a better show. Then I've been playing Ghostbusters 3 as well, which is great. It's like it's not Ghostbusters 3, it's the Ghostbusters video game, but it is Ghostbusters 3 because it's the actual Ghostbusters in it, and it's brilliant. I've never played it before until actually Joe gave me a copy of it, and and a lot of fun. So it's all old stuff at the moment, but it's all fun stuff. I've been watching a lot of No Man's Sky on Let's Play videos and things, just because I was going to buy it at one point, and then because I don't think I could add anything to it with a stream or with a video, then I didn't. But it is interesting. It is kind of intriguing me, the whole thing.
Just quickly, while we go on that, I've just posted a link in the chat. There's a picture of my mate Steve McNeil, who is a huge Minecraft fan. I'm a huge Minecraft fan, and on his way up to Edinburgh to do his Wi-Fi Wars show up at the Fringe, he's just been creating in his little world, and I've just posted a little bit, which is kind of an advertisement and a shameless plug for him, but the stuff he's done is really cool because he went into mate Chris's world on there, and Chris of late is becoming like a New York Giants fan. And so Steve's gone into rip piss. Wrote a huge giant suck bit in his world and a cock and balls next to it. But so he does this really cool stuff with it. So if you're interested in looking at other stuff from Minecraft, check out some of the stuff that Steve McNeil does, because he's really good at it. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'll let you get back to what you were saying.
Oh, that was it. Oh, we're playing a brilliant game on Monday nights called Fight the Dragon, and it's like a cross between Diablo and Little Big Planet. It was found on Steam. It's cheapish. I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 11 or 12 quid. And you go through dungeons that other people have made. So it's kind of other than the sort of basic tutorials, it's completely community led. And then when you've gone through that, you collect resources, and the resources you can use to build your own dungeons with and release those out into the community. So I've not done any building yet, but actually going through other people's dungeons and seeing what they're doing, that's really cool. And I think there's a lot that you can get out of doing that.
And that's a great operating model for a video game. Okay, so we're going to create a game where the users generate the content, so we don't actually have to do anything after the game and just make sure it doesn't crash.
Well, bar the procedural stuff and the actual blocks and the recipes in Minecraft, that's exactly how Minecraft works as well. Because you didn't, there's no Minecraft manual. There was no, this is how you do all of these recipes. People just found it out. It's entirely possible there's stuff that people haven't found out yet in there. We just don't know.
It's the craziness with procedurally generated worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks manic when you're playing to get the levels, because I drop into the stream chats and they're just watching you. The actual chaos ensues between you for like the sodomy sticks.
It's a really simple game, and you're not getting any complex leveling things out of it. There's a bit of leveling in there. There's a bit of managing your equipment and stuff like that. But the basics of it are really, really simple. But it means that anyone can kind of pick up the game and go, yeah, all right, I'm going to have a go at that, and just drop into most of the levels. Even though some of them are tricky, they're not overly difficult. So you just keep playing until you had enough. And it is a bit manic at times as well.
But it looks fun. It's something I may have to look at, because becoming a PC gamer as well.
Welcome.
Becoming a PC gamer. That sounds like there's some sort of weird David Cronenberg-esque change happening in you, and suddenly you'll develop a 3.5-inch floppy disk slot in the center of your stomach or something. Am I the only person who gets that reference?
I get this reference.
I'm quite old. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic.
Dude, the grey in my beard gives away that I'm quite old as well. So
Yeah, I know, but Cronenberg, a lot of people don't know who he is still. So
Google him, kids.
Google him. Go and watch Videodrome. Don't read up on it first. Just go and watch it. Your mind will be blown, and not in a good way.
Is that all you've been playing, matey?
Rocket League as well is the other thing, because I just constantly play Rocket League. It's a curse.
But it's a good curse.
It's a good curse.
It's my burden and it's my curse. I play Rocket League.
It's because it's one of those games that is so addictive that you have to go back to it. You have to keep, even if you go away from it and you go, I've had enough, I want to start. You'll find yourself going, just play a game. It's only like 5 minutes. And it's not by the time, it's like 10, 20, 30, 40 hours after you finish playing. But yeah, it's a really great little game.
It's like, I'm going to play a game. Next thing you know, it's Monday already? It's
I've had weekends like that.
Monday?
Very recently. Yeah.
And the first collaborative stream that we did was the afternoon?
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was mid-afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, mid-afternoon. We thought, we're not going to have too many games on this. And what was it, 3 hours?
Well, just have another one. And it just keeps going. That's partly it's my fault, but mostly it's because I was having fun doing it as well,
You say
Rocket
like
League,
that,
when you
as if
can't go
I was
drinking at a bar.
blameless.
You just have another one. Just have another one.
I'll just have another one.
It's fun. It's good.
Not drunk. I've got a car and I'm going
It's
to
fun.
hit my balls with it.
We're just gonna, guys. What? I'm gonna hit the ball into the goal. I'm gonna take it from here. He's gonna go way in the air. He's gonna go into the goal, and he's gonna be amazing. You just gotta watch. Just, it's awesome.
I'm going to come round to your house and I'm going to suck your vehicle.
You're gonna do what?
I'll be sick as a dog in the morning.
Now there's a reference.
It is.
Tarquin!
Tarquin! I think I'm going to be sick. Yeah, that's an obscure reference as well now, isn't it? That was a 20-year-old comedy show.
But the thing about Rocket League, and I'll just segue into what I've been playing for that one, because it feels like a gateway drug to a lot of people. I mean, we had this week
Maybe?
Shadow.
I think
joined.
Smite was more of a gateway drug for me than Rocket League was. I don't think I'd have tried Rocket League had I not tried Smite and gone, oh, that's all right. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, because Smite is one I haven't tried. It's one that I.
It's kind of fun. Yeah. You get very good with a particular god, and then you find you can't play any of the others. But yeah, it's a kind of fun game.
Ethanol car.
We'll have to stream it at some point because it's worth a try.
I saw a brief. Was it when? Oh, who was it? I know it was Vimus, and was it Willow and Ara?
Vimus, Ara, Willow, and Simmer. I think we're all playing it at some point.
Because I think they would do streaming it when you were away on your holiday.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
It was really nice. It's the first one I've had in like 3 years. It's lovely.
It's great to get away, isn't it? Don't want to come back, but
I went to sunny Cornwall, home of the pixies and pasties. That's all they've got. There's nothing. It's flat. Apart from that, that's no other interesting things there at all.
So Kansas. It's like Kansas.
It's like if Kansas was on the coast. It is mostly flat. And I'm from Gloucestershire, which is kind of nearly halfway up the country. Well, it's not. It's nearly halfway up the country. It's kind of next to Wales, and it's big rolling hills and stuff. So I'm just not used to that level of flatness. Went and stayed next to Bodmin Moor, which is just flat. There's nothing there. It's just grass, and somebody's gone, just a good patch of grass there. We'll leave that, and then they buggered off and gone somewhere else. So
there's a dog there.
Yeah. And suddenly you turn a corner. Oh, it's Jamaica Inn, which obviously famous from the Daphne du Maurier book. Yeah. And completely not gaming related, but because of Daphne du Maurier, she wrote this book called Jamaica Inn. It's all about smuggling, which is what Cornwall's famous for, is the smugglers and the smugglers and the wreckers, and the wreckers who used to dash ships on the rocks off the coast by changing where the lighthouse was going. And I'm doing the accent now, aren't I? I can't get out of it. But they had a museum there which sort of shows you what they did, how they smuggled these things into the country. I don't know if you have the phrase in America, budgie smugglers. No. Okay.
I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
So, Will, what would you say budgie smugglers are?
Budgie smugglers, yeah. You would normally see them these days on the beach,
Oh, yeah.
It actually comes from proper smuggling, where they would literally smuggle budgies in ladies' tights. It was just an interesting thing. I've now just killed the conversation.
So, quick, talking of budgies, they fly, and in Rocket League you can fly.
Wow, Segway man!
Because
did you know?
I'm just gonna sit here and smile.
I could have read the pitch and said about the smut pitch, but that's a whole different story from what we weren't going to discuss there.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, but that's not, and that's just what I was going to mention on Vimus' stream earlier, and nobody else knows about it apart from us three. Yeah. And I'm so used to talking on stream, and people knowing what our whole conversations are about, and so you can reference them back. And now I can't, and I don't know which bits I said in there, and I said in a different stream earlier in the week. I have no idea if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Most people don't.
And that threw me off yesterday when we were playing it in the morning, and because I'm like, I'm not having to speak to people in chat. I'm just playing and just talking. It's just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Other times this week when I've been playing Rocket League has been on stream, whether it's with yourself or with Shadow. Because, Shadow and myself were looking to do something as a collaboration, because, I'm trying to pick off all the members of Battle Cattle to do at least to start collaborating with. Almost like a sniper bit of, right, it's your next. There you go. And the thing that we came up with was Rocket League because he hadn't played it and we wanted to see what the fuss was about. So I made sure he went through the tutorial first, and he said he got a couple of games in, and within what 1/2 of the game
he's
started,
brilliant at it. He's really really good at it, and will only get better. So
because he tried claiming that it was me that was holding the team up. It's like no, mate.
I spend whole matches just driving around in circles sometimes. You just can't get to the ball. You try and get to the ball, you just end up going round. It's fun, but it's sometimes.
Well, I mean, there was that last game we had on the Wednesday. We were 4-1 down after about a minute and a half, and we thought, oh no, we're just gonna get completely decimated here.
Is this going to get into this annoying thing where people are now going to start to remember what their scores are from Rocket League?
Possibly.
Like you do with amateur football teams. Sorry, amateur soccer teams. I forget this.
He's a FIFA player, so he knows it's football.
I was 3-0 down, and then we hit the ball around the side of the goal, and the other team scored again. So then we were 4-0 down. It was terrible. That's going to be a thing, right?
In this instance, yes, blatantly. But because we were looking at it because we wanted to obviously go out on a high. We wanted to win, because that's that law, isn't it? Almost that's on the stream is that you cannot finish a multiplayer match on a loss. Can't do it. So we
had to do that on many occasions. We're not that good.
Yes. Even though we wish to be, but yeah. So something happened during it, and we sort of just started banging in the goals, and the game ended 6-5 in our favour. And like, we make a good team.
You didn't lose a match, did you? I didn't see the whole thing, but you were spot on for 90% of those matches, if not 100%.
We lost the first 2, and then we sort of kicked in with like 3 in a row. We lost 1, and there was about another 2 or 3, and then we just lost a clump of them near the end, and there was that last one.
Right.
But that's
still pretty good on Rocket League because the teams are often quite good.
Yeah.
Even at lower levels, they're often
once they get going, it's really good once it gets going because, the thing I found on the PS4 version of Rocket League, and I don't know whether you found this or not, is you can have days where you're really, really spot on and you can hit everything, it all goes and then the day after you can't hit shit.
Yeah, I constantly in both PC and PS4 version of it, I constantly miss the ball. And sometimes, like you said, you can have a game and you will hit every single thing. You'll get all the goals. You will act like a superstar. And then the next day comes along and you're literally going through all of the balls as they just sail over the top of your head, just by that much, just a little, by a gnat's crotchet. It's.
Blame your upload download. So more people are online, so it's lowering your download speed, which is lowering your frame rate.
I can't do that these days because for some strange reason I seem to be getting a ping of 0 a lot of late on the PC.
Well, that's Will,
you've gone down in history because of that.
Will, that's it. Because you're so used to playing at bad ping. Now that you have good P, it's thrown off your timing.
Could
be
possibly true.
Because true. I've noticed this on the PC version. There's not quite as much on the PS4. Going straight for the ball, and all of a sudden I'm halfway off. I'm off to the other side and miss completely. I'm like, what the shit? What's going on there?
The other thing, if you go for the ball and you've just got that little bit of boost on, and it's just a little bit too much. It's fractions of a boost that will actually push you so far past the ball. That you just don't hit it, and yet you're on the other side of the pitch.
And then you're so frustrated. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake! And you just And then everybody just scores afterwards. It's like, oh, well, yeah, that's fun, wasn't it?
There was a time I had to stop playing the game just because I found myself getting angrier and angrier and angrier at myself for missing every single thing on pitch, including the other cars, everything just went completely wrong.
This is famous thing because I live in a data center. So
I'm still not convinced you don't. I'm still not convinced you aren't a bot,
Hey, I'm not Kitty Cat Curtis here, which if he was around, he'd be going, damn it. We have a mate online called Curtis who's come into the chat rooms at times, and we're trying to help him with his confidence here by actually getting him to post a picture of himself on Twitter. Now, you may go, that's asking for trouble, right? Because we know what Twitter's like. But I'm thinking it's giving him a little booster. Give him a bit of self-confidence stuff, and he's stopping doing it by doing little bits and pieces. So my friends are giving little jibes, calling me Kitty Cat Curtis, because we think he's actually Skynet, the start of Skynet on Twitter. He's not real, And so I
thought it'd be that Microsoft bot that they released, They really, we put a bot on Twitter and it's artificial intelligence. I thought that was it. We're going to die now. But it found the Hitler Youth, and then Microsoft said, "Oh, we better shut it down, I suppose." After it annexed Poland.
I'm trying to find a segue for Poland, and
I'm used to British. We have this sensibility of humour in Britain, where anything to do with the war is fair game because we were right in the middle of it, and yet I wasn't anywhere near the Second World War yet. It still carries down to generation on generation. So it's
Well, in the Second World
War, that's the fault of it. That's
the Second World War, there was Nazis, and there's Nazis in Stick of Truth, which is also what I've been playing as part of Late Night Lard this week. There's your link. Got it back. Stick of Truth. One of the funniest, most offensive parts of that game I've got up to on this one. Now, spoilers if you haven't played it. Tough. If you've seen the Underpants Gnomes.
Yes, there's so much South Park I can't remember half of it.
So at the end of day 2, you're dreaming where you go to sleep, and then you start to hear the famous Underpants Gnome song, the time I gotta work, search for underpants, we want stuff to have underpants, every time. You start to hear that, and then you see the Underpants Gnomes come out and try and nick your underpants. So you wake up, and they get pissy with you, and so you go into a normal fight. You beat them easily with a special ability that you have at the time, and then you think, well, fuck this, they shrink you. So you have to chase their leader around, and you chase the leader into your parents' bedroom while they're having sex on the bed. so now you're thinking, hang on, the abortion bits were censored in this game, and the anal probing stuff in the consoles was censored, but this isn't?
No, well, I mean, there is a far right is probably wrong, but there is a further right. Let's call them that, the further right, and that's not. Sorry, no. Okay, let's stop that. There's a far right in America. Sort of the religious right in America does hold a fair amount of power, much more so than it does in Britain.
This is weird because it was only in European consoles where this was censored. The PC version was fine. In America, no censorship.
Okay, that is weird.
And it's weird. What's going on? Because there's something else later on in the game that I remember that is far worse than anything they censor in it.
There was a thing that they used to do to get round censor. In fact, Monty Python did this. I know for a fact. Was they would put something ridiculously outrageous in the script, and the fight would then be about that ridiculously outrageous thing that they knew they weren't going to get through. And so when that had happened, all the other stuff, they could just kind of gave it a pass because it wasn't nearly as bad as this ridiculously offensive thing. And that's how they got a lot of their stuff onto, past the censor board at the time.
It's clever thinking. It really is.
But it happened in the States as well, especially during the McCarthy era with the communist witch hunts and things to script writers. The same sort of process has happened. It's happened in every form of medium where people have said, "Oh, well, this is bad for our children," whatever that is. And it's happened in journalism as well, in various different areas too. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to watch out for.
Well, they're trying that with the games media of the past few years with Gamergate, weren't they? Some of that was that's my opinion.
Journalism in general is a bit, is very poor at the moment, and there is a group in Britain called Hacked Off, which I've signed up to. Basically, just put my email address in and go, yes, I'm getting all of your emails now. So but that's something that I sort of like to support, mostly because we've just got this terrible tabloid press in the UK.
Daily Express, Daily Mail is horrible for it. They were the worst, but it's not far behind.
They phone hacked the parents of Madeleine and McCann. These people whose daughter disappeared when they were on holiday, and they tapped their phones, which is illegal to begin with. And and Hacked Off basically, look, you really need to act properly. You need to act so that people aren't hurt by what you're doing. And I think there's a lot more of that than we realize. I used to do a thing on YouTube which was called Mr. Stephen Has an Opinion. And one of those things was about the MMR vaccine, which a lot of people have said, we won't have MMR vaccines because it's bad for us. That's the idea, is that it's bad for us. Well, there's no medical evidence behind that. And there's a guy called Ben Goldacre who wrote a book called Bad Science, who talks about all of these things. It talks about the fact that you can read a newspaper and you can take one story of a newspaper which you just happen to know something about, and you will read it and you go, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, this whole thing is wrong. And then you'll turn the page, and because we have this cognitive dissonance of saying, well, look, the press is it's a trusted source, we'll believe every single thing in the next story. And even though we've just seen something which we know is completely false. So, the press have got an awful lot of responsibility, which I don't think they always wield in the way that they probably should.
It's also one of the things that Chris Morris used to tear apart. When things like the day-to-day.
Yeah. Day-to-day and Brass Eye, yeah, exactly. It's exactly what he was saying. But, I mean, he was taking it more from a kind of, look, this is what you've become and this is all you're doing sort of thing. Whereas when Ben Goldacre is doing it, Ben Goldacre is a doctor, and he will talk about the science behind stories like you can cure cancer with a bar of chocolate. That sort of stuff.
Or the box of
you shouldn't eat this. And it tends to be about cancer, especially if it's in the Daily Mail. But it's, you can't eat this because it'll give you cancer. You can't eat that because it'll give you cancer. You must eat this because it'll cure cancer. And there's been an instance where red wine, in the space of about 3 months, is not only the cure for cancer, but also the cause of it. Which, is kind of ridiculous. So, yeah, I kind of started following him, and it's interesting stuff. Once you start breaking down how the media works and what the media is doing, look at how the left media are dealing with the Jeremy Corbyn, Elvin Smith thing at the moment, and how some parts of the left are just completely vilifying Corbyn, whilst for no, for no real reason, not for, they're giving spurious reasons to do it, and then other parts of the left are doing exactly the same with Owen Smith, again giving spurious reasons to do it. It's there's a bias that exists in the media, and it's not necessarily drawn along party lines, but each individual journalist, I think, has it. But because there's no checks and balances on a lot of things, some of the information then just gets reported verbatim without getting checked again, and that's it's dangerous. Yeah.
Think Fox News, James.
Think Fox News.
Pretty much in a channel nutshell.
Yeah.
what they're up to.
Sorry, you guys just started talking about media, and I just went to my happy place for a little bit.
It's all right. I'll get back to games in a second.
Being in America and in the media cycle that is now currently happening, needless to say, it's one of those things where you're either totally involved in it, or you're like me, you just kind of slowly shut your brain off in fear that it would start rotting away, and or you may have an aneurysm. So I kind of went into my defensive
Trump
mode.
or Clinton, because it doesn't matter to either of us. So
I don't know.
You know, Trump.
How about a stiff drink, and
sounds good.
Like, I look at it this way, as I look at this upcoming election as, well, the best I can do for myself is to basically treat this election like a one night stand. I just get so drunk, just wake up the next day in a pile of my own vomit, not knowing what happened the night before, and just accept the fact that I probably did something horrible that I will regret, but at least I won't remember it, and just slowly wonder why I have this strange itch.
But then you have the ability in the States that we don't, which is really annoying, that you can vote in a president and you can vote in a house that is not is not the same party as the president.
You think we can do that? That's the best part. We think we can do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's fair enough. But you can at least.
We're given the illusion that we can do this. So I agree with you. We're given that illusion.
But there's been times when you've got a House of Representatives that is Democrat, and then a president's Republican, and vice versa.
We have that right now.
We can't have that. We can't have that in the UK at all because of the parliamentary system. It's first past the post. So the most MPs are the MPs whose party gets to choose the prime minister. So all of that power is on one party,
which makes it very, very dangerous.
It does. Well, they both have they both all have their checks and balances, because our system has the same thing, where at least a lot of policy can get pushed through in your system. In our system, which has become more of kind of the sixth graders playground type of system, is, hey, that guy did something I didn't like. We're all just not going to do it, so then he can't get anything. No matter how good of an idea it is, we're just going to sit here and say no because we have the more people.
Yeah.
But this is why I drink.
Yeah, we bend over. We have to bend over and take it, don't we? But right, Becky, I'm going to try and get back to games because we went on a tangent.
What?
There.
Games?
Games, yeah, no. We play games. I know.
They don't exist in a vacuum, and you were talking about South Park, and that's a very political show, so...
Yeah.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
That's fine. Stick away. One of the things that I was playing again this week, because I haven't really played anything I haven't streamed, which is weird, apart from Rainbow Six, which is the usual sort of blowing other people up, having a good time, trying to do the realistic terrorist hunt on there.
I was always very disappointed that Rainbow Six didn't have any actual rainbows in it. I thought it was a sequel to Bubble Bobble originally, but
Oh, because it went Bubble Bobble, Rainbow Islands, Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Island, yeah, Rainbow Six, exactly.
Yeah. And then you went like terrorists.
It's like The Road to Perdition is the worst of the road movies,
And then, Bing Crosby and Bob Hope just wasn't there.
That's right. Just weren't there. Say what you like about Tom Hanks, but he can't sing like Bing.
He's tried, probably. So we're on this plane, right? We're trying to do this one trophy, which is take out terrorist hunt on realistic. We got down to 2 terrorists remaining out of 30, and we lost it. It was just heartbreakingly close to winning this thing. Ed just wanted to push forward really quickly, and he got excited, and we know what happens when you adrenaline rush at a game where you're actually doing well on like a boss fight, and then suddenly just all goes.
Hang on, wait. There was 30 terrorists on a plane.
Yeah,
is this like a new Samuel L. Jackson movie or something?
No, it's Air Force One. You remember the movie Air Force One? 30 terrorists.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Yeah, it's Air Force One. That makes more sense.
Yep.
Because otherwise, if all the terrorists got together and thought, well, we don't want to buy individual plane tickets, let's just get one plane. That would be so much easier to deal with. I mean, really.
Just blow up the plane from there before you go into it. Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, why isn't that?
Wouldn't have Harrison Ford saying, "Get off my plane."
It's true. You could spend time with Samuel L. Jackson and some snakes, or a tornado made of sharks. I don't. I saw that for the first time recently. So I missed it the first time around. It's so bad, but it's so good.
It's one of those films. I really, really, really want to watch it, and it's like no.
I think that.
For all the wrong reasons, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the best part of those movies is like now they're just daring you to watch them. Like, hey, we made a fourth one. We dare you to watch it. You won't watch it.
I watched. What's the guy? Greg Grunberg, who the cop in Heroes.
Yeah.
In a film called Big Ass Spider, and was kind of disappointed because it's actually quite a good film. And
is a spider with a big ass?
It is a big ass spider. It's a giant spider with a massive ass.
See, everybody's going for these deep, dark, gritty films. Whatever happened to like the title of the movie was what it was? Big ass spider.
I know, right?
I can get by.
They kind of did that with Batman and Superman, but then they had to throw in the Dawn of Justice thing. Nobody knows what. Oh look, there's justice over there on the horizon. No, it's not. It's Wonder Woman. I mean, where did that come from?
That had Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder on it. That movie was going to be more convoluted than anybody had any right to be on. We all know that movie was never going to go anywhere. And by the way, I do find it that they've taken they took the scene from Step Brothers and used that as the catalyst for Batman and Superman becoming friends. Is your mom named Martha? Yep. Did we just become best friends? Yep. I'm gonna go fight Lex Luthor. I'm gonna stay here and help you save the world, Bats.
The thing is, I've 40 years nearly of watching watching cartoons and reading comic books. It had never clicked that their mothers' names were exactly the same. I'd never even thought about it. It was a real revelation when it came into the cinema. I think some people had gone, that's just a really bad idea. Why didn't they just change one of the names and it wouldn't have been? But that's actually their names. It's just, yeah.
Nobody really ever worried about what Batman's mom's name was because
because she's dead.
She's dead.
Yeah, it's that riddle, isn't it? Watch full of holes, it goes down.
Riddle me this, Batman. What's the name of Superman's mom?
Mono asks, does the spider twerk? In Big Ass Spider.
Oh, in Big Ass Spider? No, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I need to watch it again because it's actually quite a good film. I watched some shocking stuff because I'm a big fan of all film. And so I do watch all the Sherlock horror stuff. I used to love the Trauma stuff, the sort of Toxic Avenger and
Class Nukem High.
Yeah. So any kind of bizarre monster movie is on my watch list, and there's been a lot of them about. Yeah, but
there has recently again with sci-fi doing them all. It's almost like they're just wanting Mystery Science Theater 3000 to just take the piss.
Chimera versus Pegasus. What?
Hamster versus Godzilla. Wait, what?
Honestly, I watch some of those films and go, but that never happened. And it completely disregard the fact that it never happened anyway in the first place. But there's no basis in any form. They've mixed mythologies. It really annoys me when you see something which but that's Greek and that's Persian. Why have you used those two things together? What?
Or just shoving Norse mythology into anything. Look, it's Odin. Not wait, what? No,
Yeah.
this is Rome. But Odin's no, wrong, bad, bad.
Although,
Gamera,
you know,
hell.
Odin's in something which I don't know if it's actually been shown yet, but it's going to be released soon. American Gods, which is on TV shortly.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm very looking forward to it.
It's Neil Gaiman. How can it be bad?
Well, exactly. I thought they did a good job with The Strain as well, which is the first book of which is actually a favourite of mine, and yet very few people seem to have read it.
By the way, an actual good mix-up of mythologies, Age of Empires.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that does work really well. I quite like the whole Smite idea as well. You know, the fact that you've got gods from different pantheons, but then they're pitting themselves against one another. That works.
The question is, I'm waiting for for Jesus to show up in Smite.
And they never do it.
Why?
What's going to do? Walk on fucking water. All right. Okay.
He's kind of.
Leave loaves and fishes.
Hey,
I've
we got
plenty.
Jesus on our side. Is he killing any of the other gods? No, he's just giving them wine and fish.
Hey, but that's he would be the ultimate support. He could definitely have a resurrection spell.
It's true. That's true.
Head Monolith always thought Odin could be the name of a toilet cleaning product.
Odin.
Smite the bowl.
Odin, wipe your poo away. Yeah, that'd be great.
The toilet's clogged up. Don't, honey, can you go to the store and buy some Odin? The toilet's clogged.
Do you need to part the Red Sea?
Different mythology, but yeah, sure.
Moses,
Liquid
toilet duck.
Moses.
Liquid Moses. see that.
Added amyl nitrate. Yeah, that's.
See, like Liquid Moses sounds like a laxative.
Yes.
We're going to hell
Really
for this.
will, evacuate your followers. That's yeah.
So we're going to hell for this. Which is
We're
what I
going
did
to
on
take-
Sunday morning.
We're going to take this suppository nicknamed the Ark, and you take it, and it takes all of the bad germs out of your system and escorts them out in a gigantic flood.
I was going to say, what? It goes 2 by 2
Yes,
or 2 by number 2.
2 by number 2.
Joke.
And of
Anyway.
course, it's done by the ShamWow guy.
Wait
It has to
for
be
it, but
done by
that
the
was-
ShamWow guy. He's got to do that ad.
So, that'd be a weird ad for Barry Scott, wouldn't it then? Hi, I'm Barry Scott, and here we're with Odin Toilet Cleaner.
Bang, and your toilet's gone.
And if you order in the next 10 minutes, we'll give you some Liquid Moses.
As Mono says, we'll go
No,
to
hang
hell.
on, wait. There's a gag here somewhere. Just give me a minute. Keep
Okay.
talking amongst yourself.
I'll talk about Doom then while I'm waiting.
Since you're talking about going to hell.
Exactly. Because I haven't made it to hell yet in Doom. I'm still on Mars and I completed, 3 missions kind of fairly easily, I thought.
Melee
I didn't
kills.
die that much, which is surprised the fuck out of me. But yeah, I'm glad I'm playing it, man. This game is good. the brutality of the melee kills. Oh, I like them. I like
Yes.
them a lot. And then you get the chainsaw, and you have to actually use tactics to wait to when you use the chainsaw.
You just can't run
Well,
around with a
actually,
button
screw around
mashed down and just run into things.
Yeah, which is a shame, but you just want to. You really want to use that. But yeah, if you haven't played
Do
it,
you
so.
do you have a clogged up arsehole? Why not buy the Council of Nicaea, clearing passages that nobody's cleared before? It's a very religious joke. You've got to know who they are, haven't you?
Yep. Look at it. Go get your
Not
Bible.
religion, just go. Yeah, the Council of Nicaea was the point where the Christians worked out that they didn't want all the Bible because some of it was inconvenient, so they got rid of that bit, and then they just kept the bits they liked.
Yeah.
That was- yeah.
You take this book, right? You read it.
You take out all the pages.
You take out
mix them around
like
with it.
like this
That's
much
what
of
I did.
it,
Yeah, and you put one page in saying just be good to each other. Okay, there you go.
Put a page at the beginning. That just says that
Bro,
all
just be
comments
a
in this
bro,
book
bro.
are
All characters
not.
in this book are really fictitious.
Well, no, I was going to say comments aren't the but that doesn't work because I can't remember what the fucking quote.
So at the end of the Bible these days, you've got 3 words: like, comment, and subscribe. Which
Oh dear.
right, I'm trying to remember if I've played anything else this week. No Man's Sky, yeah, okay, No Man's Sky, because that's everything else. Masters of Force, you know that. But yeah, No Man's Sky. I like it. It feels though that it could potentially get very repetitive very quickly if there's no update for something extra to it. Now,
I get very bored watching it, but then I think that's probably because I'm not playing it. And people who played it have said actually it's quite relaxing when you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's,
it really is. I mean, it's another game like Minecraft where you lose hours into it very, very easily, and you won't realize you've lost them until you stop and go.
That has as much to do with the gameplay as it does the music score. The score in that game is amazing.
It is a beautiful sounding game.
I fell asleep for like an hour once on a planet just because I was sitting in my spaceship and it was just like, it's so nice. And I woke up, I was like, what?
Is this an insidious plot by the company to get people to spend so much time in No Man's Sky that they can't live without it? Are they causing their own sort of addiction?
Like Avatar syndrome? Like people just got really depressed?
Like, yeah.
It's kind of hooking us up to the Matrix.
Well, maybe they are. They're just doing it very slowly. This is just stage 1.
Might well be, because the one thing I did apparently find out is because you have these things like monoliths there and plaques, and you got these old ruins that you pick up words of the alien life forms that are. So far, there's only been about 3 that I've seen different alien races on there, because it doesn't tell you who you are.
It's not very realistic because every time that anybody else is confronted with the dictionary, the first thing they do is turn to the rude words.
Yeah, which we have.
Yeah. This is how they say bum in Galaxy. Whatever it is.
Then Mono's just asked a question, which we will get back to in a second. But yeah, apparently the more, if you learn the language, if you become lingual of the language of the alien races, you can apparently get asked for help. You can ask for help as well, so you can become part of space battles and things, which I haven't got to. So there's an extra bit that later on, the more you do, the more you grind through, the option opens up.
Do you think, because there's a lot of people talking about, okay, well, this isn't in it and this isn't in it, that there's stuff that people just haven't explored enough to be able to find?
It's very, very possible. Because you do have.
Because I know there's things like there were in all the videos, there were things like sand planets and stuff, and people have said, well, they're not cropping up.
It's very possible that they haven't found the planets yet, because it's procedurally generated. There's some stuff that just might not have come up on their game yet, because the game might have just went, yeah, well, it's not. I don't want to put it there just yet,
Of course.
So it's very, very possible, but in terms of actually mining, crafting, you've got to try. There's options to get better ships. Like there's the option of either buying one, or you can find crash ships to try and repair and use. Now the problem with actually finding the ones that you repair is there's a 50-50 chance they're actually 1 slot worse than the one you currently have, which so far 100% wise. I've found 4, and they're all worse.
Right.
So, yeah. So you have to try. So my option was buying them, and then if you try to get one that looks like about almost maximum in terms of slots for the inventory, you're looking about at least 29 million credits, which is not quick to get in any way, shape, or form.
I've always no game seems to have got their monetary system sorted out to a point where the exchange rate is almost 1-to-1, or
Yeah.
it always seems to be so many 100 million or 1,000 million or billion, or that's probably 1,000 million, isn't it? There's always so much credit seeking. But the World of Warships tonight, we're looking at how much is it to buy 300 credits. Well, it's about £4 or £5. But yeah, surely it would be better to, I don't know, have something which is more akin to the sort of Global Monetary Fund.
It's just, so I'm going to have to get a lot of rare minerals to get this, or use the cheat, because there's a glitch where you can actually duplicate some items in your inventory using like a double save sort of thing, and then you get killed.
I imagine they'll figure that out.
Yeah, they'll be patching that.
They'll patch that. Yeah.
In the chat,
by the way,
were
if
asked
anybody's wondering, that's how many planets are in No Man's Sky. I just put it in the chat.
Right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
So many quintillion, isn't it?
Yeah, 18 quintillion.
Yeah. 18 quintillion.
So in the chat, we're asked a question by Monolith. He goes, what do you guys think is the best game because of its soundtrack? For me, it'd have to be one of the best. It has to be Red Dead Redemption, because the soundtrack to that helped make that game what it was.
God, that's difficult. That's actually a really difficult question.
It's a really, really good question.
Partly because I mostly turn the music off, so I've no idea.
I went with Rebel Galaxy as just my most recent one, and the main reason is because we talked about it plenty of times before of how well the soundtrack works for that game. It's got kind of like that Serenity, kind of Wild West, Jim Raynor feel to it, but also because the game actually has built into it where you can add your own music to the soundtrack of the game. So you can technically play the game with whatever music you want, thus creating your best soundtrack. I mean, for me, it was nothing like hunting down space pirates with Wagner's Flight of the Valkyrie going, and I'm just sitting here with the controller just going dun 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 dun,
brilliant,
just launching broadsides of missiles and stuff, and it's just like this is how this game should be played, I think. So that's just in recent. I mean, there's other games that have had great scores that I can't think of right now that really worked. Probably a Final Fantasy at one point.
No, I'm just.
Final Fantasy was very big on game scores, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7 was pretty good for that, because there was those moments where you get the real emotion going from them, and the music was a big part of that.
Chrono Cross. I remember now. Chrono Cross was huge for the music in that game, especially because like how every single zone had every zone had a music. And then you had kind of like the reprise of each song in the other world, and like how you could tell which world you were in just by like the open world themes. So if you guys haven't, pull up the overworld themes for Chrono Cross for both the main world and the other world, and just listen to them and how much they differ, and you can kind of get a really good feel for the game and how different it is. Chrono Cross.
I mean, one of the things that kind of springs to mind for me is the Elder Scrolls series, where everything was really. There's a lot of through-composed stuff in it. It's a really epic soundtrack that you kind of need sometimes when you're playing a game like that, because there is a lot of grinding in them as well. But also Grand Theft Auto. Because if it didn't have that radio in it, for the earlier games, before it became much more big, open world stuff, if it hadn't got that radio, then you'd have lost an awful lot of immersion in it. A lot of the immersion came from having those stations which felt very real world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Especially because you have those silly adverts in it, like petsovernight.com.
Yeah.
Some of those were just... Because you're listening to it, you think you're just playing away, and then you hear this really silly thing, and you're like, what? So you try to pay attention to the rest of it, and you realise how good that soundtrack was. GTA 2, not as much, But I mean, the 1969 London one was I liked
that was brilliant, and I wish they would redo that as a 3D thing. I would absolutely love to drive around 3D London, especially on a PS4. I mean, imagine what the graphics would be like. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, they'd
You know,
be
if they just recreated London like that. Fantastic.
I mean, you look in GTA San Andreas, Spandau Ballet's gold.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
ever pick a random vehicle, go up to the parking, the multi-story car park, have a ramp, and then just drive the thing off there? And as soon as you land, you hear Spandau Ballet going, "You are gold, gold," as you land perfectly. It's a moment that you should savor because it really does hit the spot. And another one of late, especially of late, would be The Witcher 3, because the soundtrack of that is really good with the story.
I mean, Dragon Age as well, actually. That's got a lot of good stuff, especially the later ones. Inquisition's actually got a really good, pretty strong soundtrack. Whereas, I mean, the first one, not quite so much, but it still works, still.
Because we've also got in the chat as well, we've got Vimus with possibly Mech Warrior 2 Mercenaries, unless he's talking about the abstract economy on that one. Yeah. Monolith, as he'd have to say Silent Hill, just because Akira Yamaoka nailed it with
Silent Hill is actually, I can remember playing that. It was, well, the first two games from that were back on the PlayStation 1, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere that you got in those games was just stunning. It really, really was.
When you hear the banjo start playing for the start of Silent Hill 2, it's just,
yeah,
it set the tone, really, didn't it, for what's going to happen. And he also says Mass Effect 1, close second, just because of the ending theme.
Well, the Mass Effect themes were just awesome in general.
I mean, Fallout 4's got some brilliant stuff in it.
Peter don't like the game, but the soundtrack itself sounded cool. I just can't get on with them.
They've mixed it in with that kind of very 1950s feel. The whole 1950s post-apocalyptic thing. It's just, I think they've done a really good job, and the soundtrack carries that through as well.
Just kind of I don't want to set the world on fire. Kind of
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of questions, now normally when we have a guest on, especially a streamer on YouTube provider, we do have some questions down at the bottom of our flow. So if you don't mind, matey, we'll ask you some of them.
Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, what got you into streaming? What got you into doing YouTube videos?
Two different questions, actually. I've always wanted to make films. I made some short films. We needed somewhere to put them. We put them on YouTube, so that was the first time I'd ever done anything sort of on YouTube. I've got a degree in multimedia and media communications, which is basically making websites and making radio at the time, which I'd always thought video is going to be the way forward on the net. So I've always tried to kind of move towards doing that sort of professionally as well as just for fun. So YouTube is something, when it came along, I just went, yes, YouTube, great thing, let's make stuff and put it on there. And that was some time ago now. It was about 7 years ago now we first started doing stuff like that. But we've only done 2 or 3 things because of the time sink and the money that you need to do to make these things as well. But then when Joe was doing his world record attempt for Minecraft, I suddenly thought I should try Minecraft out, because I hadn't up until now. He'd been telling me for ages that he really liked it. He got it way back when they were still developing it, so I think he picked it up for really, dirt cheap before all of the other stuff had been added.
Microsoft.
Yeah, way before Microsoft. And he told me all the time, yeah, you really should try it. You really should try it. It's really good. And I'd always kind of thought, yeah, but you're just building stuff out of blocks. That's like Lego, isn't it? And I just didn't get it. but when I knew Joe was going to stream, then it kind of made sense. He did it for 30 odd hours, for 35 hours. And when I knew I would be somewhat involved with that, I thought I'd better get it and see what it's like and see. So I've got some idea of what's going on. You know, you can be sat there for that long doing something, and just from picking it up the first time, I just went, "Oh, you do it like this, and you've got to do that." And so that week, I started making videos online, just because it had kind of inspired me enough to do it, I think. And yeah, from there, I just, because before that I made videos for that were, as I mentioned earlier, kind of opinion videos. That they would just look, this is what's happening here, and this is going on here, and that's my opinion on it, and that was it. Little kind of 5-minute snippets of information. But I just ran out of steam with those, because you've got to find something new to talk about every single week, and that's a difficult thing to do. You don't have to do that with Minecraft, because you're actually doing things that you can talk about as you're going along, and why you're doing it, and your thought process of doing it, which I thought was just a nice way of doing it. So from there on, I felt I wanted to expand what I was doing. I started playing more games, started collaborating with Joe. That's it, really.
Yeah, that's good. What's been your favorite game to stream so far?
Streams so far.
Yeah.
It was probably when we were doing Discworld, when Simmer and I were doing Discworld, because I love the Discworld books, and I know them not back to back, but I know them pretty well enough to kind of get a lot out of seeing them made into a computer game. And I'd played the computer games when I was a kid, and it was such a long gap between doing it that it was sort of reliving all of that stuff as we were going along as well, with people who had gone through a similar sort of thing. You know, had at least most of the people in there had at least read a book or had some idea of who Terry Pratchett was, and you know, the kind of the world that you were in. So that was that I think was sort of the most fun.
Just quickly typing down. That's the next. James, you want to ask the next question?
Sure. While you're a little busy,
I was typing. Yeah,
you're typing. So, what is it like building a community on Twitch?
I don't know. I haven't done it yet.
Cool. I guess that's why you're here, right?
I don't have very many followers on Twitch. I've got a couple of hundred subscribers on YouTube, and that's growing slowly but steadily. You know. But it's not as much of a community, I think, as Twitch is, because it's instant feedback on Twitch. But I'm in a community on Twitch, and that's nice. It's just it's like hanging out with your friends, and that's I think the best part about it. And you can do that whilst you're gaming, and then everyone's having that same experience. Much in the same way that if you were with friends, you might go to a concert, or you might go to a play or a film or something, you know, something which isn't just sat around in a pub talking all night. And yeah, so that's what it's like. It's like virtually sitting around in a pub and talking all night, but with a reason behind it as well. If you've got to play this game.
It also feels more like in the next step for interactive TV, because I was trying to explain this earlier.
Oh, it is. Mum. It is. Yeah.
You're looking at it. I said to Mum, I looked at it and went, okay, when you watch a game show on there, you're shouting at the TV. TV's not answering you back though, is it? So what I'm doing online is people can talk to me and they can actually get a response. So it's that next step, it seems to come along the way. Rather than just actually talking to yourself and sitting down in the room, you're actually getting answers back, which to me feels better. You know, you feel much more inclusive.
It does, I think. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
I mean, and also the community. I mean, because obviously with us being part of Battle Cattle, which has been, you know, pretty damn good since we've started. I mean,
it's amazing. It's the only group of people that I know who could go on to stream something and have a technical issue, which meant you've got a completely black screen, and then increase the amount of people watching it because there was a black screen on there, and we were just being entertaining. I just never would have thought that would have happened, because people leave your stream so quickly when something else comes along or when something goes wrong. It's like, I can't be bothered with that. But the fact that and it was on one of our streams that I was in, Simon was in, I think it was Mist or Riven, or one of the two. But the fact that you can hold an audience like that, that's fascinating. So the other degree I've got is in performing arts. And I was a comedian for a while, and I've been an actor for a while. So that kind of how to hold an audience thing, that fascinates me. The whole thing about it.
Because it seems like if you build up a community, rather than actually just random people, that's when it starts to come in. Because then the random people see the numbers, and then
it's more than a community. It's more than a community. A community is just a random group of people who happen to be joined together for a similar thing. You're building a tribe. You're building people who actually band together in order to be part of the team. Yeah. Even if you're not part of Battle Cattle as a streamer, you're still part of the team. You're still part of the family, and that's the important thing.
It's a cult following. We're building.
It's a cult following. We are building a cult. Give me all of your money now, you will live forever.
My dear boy, we'd like to welcome you to the family. You're one of us now. And today, the day of my daughter's wedding.
I don't quite know how that would work. You'd wake up in the morning and you'd find a Minecraft Steve with no head. I don't know.
Find an Alvin head on your pillow.
yeah, possibly, yeah.
What I said is one of
an Ender Dragon or something, yeah. Just nothing but Minecraft references at the moment, so yeah.
But in terms of questions, I think that's
this is our Godfather. Introduce yourself, Godfather. He's a Mario. That's.
Speaking of that, have you ever actually had anyone swearing at you on a stream in Italian?
On stream, no. I have been sworn at in Italian several times. I used to live in a place where it had a sort of small Italian community, and every morning I would go to school. A lot of the kids didn't. No, every morning I'd go to school, and actually, beyond being sworn at in Italian, just being sworn at in an Italian accent is just crazy, And you could just walk out the door, and this one guy would just say, "I fuck your mother. I fuck your mother." Every morning, "I fuck your mother. I fuck your mother." And eventually, you just have to go, "Morning, Dad," and then.
Because you've had your comedic background, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you stream, we've all had trolls come along into streams and just said, sometimes really weird shit. I mean, what's the most random one that you remember?
I've not had any yet, I don't think. Not trolley trolls. I've had people say random stuff, but they tend to be people I know. It's so that it's been fine. I quite like it. I've not had anything really random. I've had random stuff when I've been on stage before. That was, and I've said random stuff when I've been on stage before, which is you get off and go, well, why did I do that? But it worked at the time. So yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm excited to hear what they say.
So you've had the random heckles when you're on stage?
I've had random. Oh God, yes, of course, yeah.
Because I mean, the most random heckle I've actually seen was John Robertson when he did the Dark Room at MCM last year. He had this goblin orc guy come in to just walk right up to his face, and you had Jack Sparrow come in and lead him away from. It's like
right.
We're just sitting there like, what the actual fuck is going on here? It's the most surrealist thing I've ever seen to interrupt a show.
I did one gig, and Edinburgh's not bad because you don't have that many. People are there to see the shows anyway. But I did one gig in Bath, and there was this Irish guy there who just randomly in the middle of the show got up and said, "I've got dancing feet. I've got dancing feet," and he was completely drunk out of his skull. "I got dancing feet. I have," and I said to him, "Really? Well, foot off." And it kind of worked. Again, it's the strangest thing that you say just random stuff to stop people from interfering with you when you're on stage. But yeah, that's a strange, odd, weird thing, especially from Irish guys. If you've ever been in Cheltenham during race week isn't a black and white thing. There's horse racing that goes on in Cheltenham. We've got a whole race. What's it called? Stadium. Where that's not right. Horses don't race in a stadium. What am I talking about? You've got a whole track where race course. There we go. Where horses will go from all over the country and from all over the world and race for the Cheltenham Cup. It's the Gold Cup week is a really, really important week where Cheltenham is just flooded with Irish people. And again, just completely random. I've had people buy me a Guinness for having a good shirt. Really strange, weird stuff like that, but kind of a lot of fun as well.
Tiny little jockeys, just wandering around.
Sort of.
Like, your horse.
That not so much, because they're all. You think jockeys are out getting pissed? They're all athletes. They've got to be in the zone, But the people who come over and they were the owners, or the people who come over just to bet on stuff and to see it live, they're the people that you need to watch out for at night. They're the people. Hey, come over here! You got a good shirt on. It's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense at all. Hey, you there with the feet! What?
It is like an episode of Farmer Ted every year, then.
Well, it is actually kind of, yeah.
Mr. Smith has said the most random troll comment he's ever seen was, I believe this is one called It's Maya Here, who streams a lot. Well, she's fairly regular, but she goes, why don't you just kill yourself and move to Africa? Which is like,
yourself and move to Africa.
Yeah.
Well,
do you want me to do that and move to Africa first and then kill myself, or what? Do you want me to get my body?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to pull
What
up
the
a little bit
hell
of this.
does that even?
Because I know that one of my weird plans for after I'm dead and gone is having my remains go round like at least the UK on the fuck off and don't come back tour. I just think it's a great idea. You just have a member of your family just to carry your ashes around it, around like you're just going around the country. It's just that sort of weird thing, but that takes a biscuit.
I'm having to get a new driver's. I got my driver's license here. Actually, this is it. It is now so old and so decrepit that if I open this thing up, it's falling apart. It's just a mess. There, literally falling apart. So I'm having to get a new driver's license. One of the things they asked you on the form was about donor card, and the idea that you're going to be opted into the donor card scheme in the UK. There's no way of opting out of it. There's nothing you can tick on the thing, which is so. I think that in the future we're going to see governments who are legislating to make driving more dangerous, just so they've got enough transplants for the NHS. I think that's the way forward.
It's like him in the Astra. Yeah, he's got the kidney we need. Yeah, just cause the pile up now. Yeah, go.
Yeah, there's a guy there who's still driving a 2009 Ford Fiesta. I think we could lose him.
His car's causing damage to the environment. We don't need that.
People go missing on the M1 all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a joke. That's the truth.
Oh, the M1. The M1 is a bizarre road where you, especially when you go up north, and it's M1A1, M1A1. It's just make up your mind. It's like, yeah, it's too many things.
It's trying to. It's going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, shout outs. Do we have any shout outs?
I'll let you guys go on ahead.
I'll let Mr. Stephen do this one.
Well, my stuff, obviously, come and visit Burnt Papyrus TV on YouTube, which is spelt kind of how it sounds. If you wanted to find Burnt Papyrus as well, it's got some of my short films on there. Burnt Papyrus TV has got Minecraft on Mondays. It's got collaborative stuff on Wednesdays, and it has a Let's Play on Friday as well. We try and do things every week. Sometimes we can't. That is just the way of the internet. Also, I stream. I'm on Twitch, Mr._Stephen. Go and follow that, because that is probably the best way of following me on Twitch. There, we'll play Rocket League on a Tuesday, and on a Monday we do a sort of a collaborative stream doing. We've tentatively called it Hack and Slash Night, but there's no reason why we don't actually do something which is completely different as well. But yeah, that's me. You can also follow me on Twitter, Steve_Meller, which is just another place where I talk to people sometimes.
When I feel like it.
You feel like
when I feel more social than antisocial.
I feel at this point I should be saying, and go and buy my book, which is over here, which I haven't got, so that's terrible.
Just get a random book and just say to buy it. We'll shameless plug it, it's fine.
I have written 2 books that have been published, but they're ghost written, and I'm not meant to tell you what they are, and actually they're really fucking awful. So don't go and buy those, whatever you do. I mean,
are they erotic novella?
No, they're just shit. There's celebrity books, because that's what was asked for. But you don't get a choice when you're ghostwriting. You've got to write what the celebrity says they want to have in their book, and that's it.
Yes, we'll
It's a problem.
Because if they're that shit, we don't want to know. But like Mr. Stephen, I am part of Battle Cattle as well, which is a group of content providers that not only does streams, but podcasts like this one here that we're on now, and also, YouTube videos, and they're all awesome. You
should play our video. If one of you
the
wants
introduction, yes.
Which I edited. Yeah.
Oh god, I have to do something. I guess.
You have to do something. Yeah, you have to go find it while we're talking about stuff. Because
hang on,
give me a second. I'm finding it. You guys,
it's in the Skype chat if you want to.
You don't send it to me on the Skype chat. It's fine. I got it. It's good.
Because I should have the actual chat open and I haven't, and that's just bad form. I know, but
because we're professional. Wait. I got this. Wait, I got away with that one. But yeah, so it's like 12 of us, and we've got that schedule now. We're on every day in the evening. At least one of us is, maybe 2, 3.
Definitely from 9 till about 11. There is something every day. From 7 till 9, we've got 3 days worth of stuff going. Then at the weekends, it's a little bit more random, but there's still stuff going on the weekends. And I know, Lard, you do sort of daytime stuff as well. So it's, it's all good. It's all sort of mixed in with it. So.
Yeah, because mostly the reason I do the during the day stuff is because while I'm waiting on stuff to happen, caring wise, I have free time, so I think bugger it, I might as well, while I'm playing a game, stream it. It's not that
It makes sense. Yeah,
because I
run a business, so I can't do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's nice to it's a good group. It really is a nice group, and there's a lot of fun that happens in the chats and things, and it's always worth coming along to just for just the randomly fun stuff that we have going on every single day.
And we are trying to get more collaborations between us all.
We're trying to do more collaborations at the moment. We're slowly sorting out things like websites and YouTube channels and things like that. It's happening, and we've got ideas of things that we'd like to do that would be fun, and not just streaming but other stuff as well that'll help. It's fun stuff that I think people would enjoy if they went to go and see.
It's the 6-minute introduction, right?
Yes.
The
Okay.
6-minute introduction. It shouldn't have been 6 minutes long because I know, because I work in video marketing, that people drop off after the first minute. But it's kind of funny, actually.
I will. I promise that I will play it to end the stream.
Cool.
Oh, lovely! Thank you. And
Because-
and if you do that, all of the streamers from Battle Cattle, they're listed at the end of that as well. Go and follow them on Twitch because we're worth it. We're like a hair shampoo thing. I wouldn't know, of course, because I don't have any hair.
Okay, I'll try
So,
to flick this. I'll do that. Flip off. There you go.
yeah, yeah. I can't use shampoo. I can only use real poo. That's the. Yeah.
I'm just like
That's the kind of humour that you get on quality stuff that you get on Battle Cattle.
well, it's either that or really bad puns on Twitter. You know that I seem to
Yeah,
get involved with.
Because we've got a meme at the moment which is Battle Cattle join the herd. I want to do one which is have you heard of us, but then that's just too much of a bad pun. So,
As long as one of the cows isn't called Fora.
not gonna happen. Well, the cows are meant to be us. They're avatars of us. So yeah, we'll each have our own individual one. I think I might be dressed as Batman. I don't know.
I dread to think what my one's going to look like. Because I know that we're supposed to be getting merchandise. We're supposed to be getting the T-shirts.
Stuff will be happening. Things are talking to people, and
Because I know with this
Yeah.
as well as Battle Cattle, there's going to be a sort of,
yeah.
it's going to be all over the place because I've got to have at least 2 different pieces all over us. I'm going to be a walking.
But that's
fucking build
good.
book.
It's getting you out there as an individual. That's always good.
As, well, we've got a nice bit. So we've got the trolling just for you.
We have a trolling.
Look, because they're asking.
You shall not pass.
They're asking, can you
What's-
show your fat boobs?
Can I show
And
my
there's
fat boobs? No,
Yeah,
I can
how
only show
big
my
are
head
your
one.
penis? Which is like,
How big are my penis?
yeah, yeah. Didn't say it grammatically correct. They're just randomly saying. Because then you
I've
could do.
got quite a substantial cock. I keep it in a jar. Go and get it. No.
I thought you were going to say it's out at the farm. Yeah.
I do know because I because I've been in enough gay clubs to know that there are certain gay men who find me very attractive. I have a relatively nice man boobs and a not insubstantial penis, and that's it really. I mean, I can show you. No.
It's
That's
gonna
a
be
different
that
type of streaming site. That is a
different type of stream. Yeah.
different
yeah.
type of streaming site, which you can find at
Chat roulette, I think is.
go look at that. You'll find exactly what you're looking for, and some things that you definitely aren't.
And yeah, I like the way that South Park do the chat roulette thing where it's another guy masturbating, another guy masturbating, another guy masturbating. Oh, there's this guy. Oh, hi there. And then he unzips his trousers, and it's just really well done. Really, really well done.
It's pretty much the internet. Chat roulette is the definition of the internet.
That's true. That's true.
And South Park doesn't need a Rule 34. It is its own Rule 34.
It is its own Rule 30.
And on that note, we're gonna wrap this up now because we've been talking now for a good couple of hours. Yeah, it's been awesome. But I want to thank Steve, dude. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me.
So you have
I mean,
an open,
in the biblical sense, obviously, but thanks for letting
not
me
the other
come.
version of having you.
No.
No, because that's getting back to the penis size again. But yeah, I want to thank you very much
That's all I'm
for
saying.
joining us, mate. You have an open invitation to come back anytime you want.
Really?
Yes, because it's all good. So landing in halfway through, you just joined in the conversation. It's like, all right, I just thought I'd join in. So if you want to be able to find me on the internet, it's Lard Teammaker across the board. on Twitter, on Facebook. You can reach my personal YouTube via that one as well, but I'd prefer to go to the Game Won't Play Itself and subscribe there, because that's where the videos and streams and that go to. Thank you very much. But again, you can also find me on PSN, Xbox Live. Steam is PSN_LardTeammaker. But yeah, that's me. Where can they find you, James?
I am Spike2579 on the PSN, Spike SP2579 on the Steam, Spike2579 on Twitter, and then I stream here on this very Twitch when I do stream. You can find me right here. I usually do XCOM or DayZ or World of Warcraft or something. Usually a
Which the
PC
XCOM
game.
stuff. The XCOM 2 stuff you should check out, because it is quite amusing. And he hasn't killed me yet on it.
I haven't killed anybody yet. Nobody's died yet. They've gotten close. I've almost killed Will twice. I'm
Had
just
me critically injured for 23 days. I mean, what the fuck?
I have that problem with Overwatch. I don't seem to be able to kill anybody, which is kind of the point of the game. I'm not good at Overwatch. That's basically what I'm sort of taking away from this.
The game's rubbish. Don't worry about it.
I bought it twice. I liked it enough to buy it twice.
Bloody hell. No. Well, more power to you, mate, because I tried it after being browbeaten into buying it, and it's like, I played it, and it's just...
I want my 30 quid back.
It's better on PC. It's better on when you've got that control over it. The PS4 controls, not so much.
Fair enough, because I bought it on PS4 because my friends, were on there. And It's just a case of, I liked it maybe for a couple of hours, and the rest of it, I just don't like it. It just goes nowhere for me. There's just no end game as such. It's just play this, or you can get a skin.
It's true.
Oh, okay. If people wanted to follow you and add you,
kind of the model, yeah.
Add you as a friend on like PSN and that, where can they find you if you want to give out your PSN, Steve?
No, I don't tend to give out my PSN. Actually, if you watch some of my streams back, I'm sure actually it's on there somewhere, because I haven't masked the thing that it should have been. But no, I that and Steam I tend to sort of keep to people that I know, not through any other reason. That it's too difficult to try and manage who's coming in and going out. So yeah, I don't tend to do that.
That's fair play. That's fair play. The only other thing to mention is coming up on November 5th will be Extra Life 2016, where I will be doing the Extra Balls for Extra Life pinball stream for 24 hours. There is a page on my Twitter, I believe. If not, I can actually post it up on their Twitter. Go follow it, go donate to it, join me on November the 5th, because it'll be from 7 a.m. to November 6th at 7 a.m. playing 24 hours of pinball. If I do reach my personal best on the table, I move on to the next one and pay $2 for each table I beat my personal best on.
Wow.
If we reach the target of $500, I'm going to be wearing the Craig David mask from Bo Selector for an hour. Right? If we reach $1,000, it'll be 2 hours. And if it's $1,500, no matter when that hits, if I hit it before the stream starts, I'll be wearing that for the full 24.
I think you're pricing yourself way too low there. I think you can double that.
We're thinking 3,000 maybe.
Yeah. People pay three grand for that.
Yeah, I probably should, but it's a case of when I was doing Game Blast earlier this year, we only we hit what I think is about 500 quid, something like that. It was better than what I thought, but. Yeah, so I'm trying to keep my expectations down, because I don't want to feel pushy towards people. But even though Extra Life itself is a great cause,
I mean, do be pushy about it, because you're right. When you've got something which is a good cause, people need to know about it, and it's helping people do stuff.
Because it's on behalf of the Children's Miracle Network, which is. A children's charity over in America and Canada, which helps children's hospitals out, pay for equipment, and helps do research. So kids don't have to go through the shit that I have to go through. And if I can help save one child going through this stuff,
Yeah.
I'll do it. You know,
Mm.
'cause, 24 hours is fine compared to that sort of stuff they go through.
It's
So.
a very, very worthwhile thing to do. And I'd say when I was playing in clubs, just playing music in clubs, as part of a band, you could have gone around a club or a pub, and just through the punters there, you could have got a couple of £1,000 just for those few punters.
Yeah.
You've got the whole world that could potentially sign up to this, and I know that's not likely. But yeah, go around the people that you know and tell them about it as well, because it's worth doing. It's worth trying to get as much money to these people as possible.
Because there's the link in the chat. I've just put that bit in there.
There you go.
It starts November 5th.
Keep doing that.
So,
I know it's a very British thing to be. So, well, I am doing that, but I won't talk about it. But no, just do it.
let's go donate. Join me in the chat for the 24 hours, because I'm not going to be doing what I normally do.
You'll see him go mad. You'll see him go absolutely fucking mad for 24 hours, because all he's doing is playing pinball. It's not even that interesting.
Exactly. Once you get into that rhythm, that you just focus and just. Yeah, that could be other games I could be playing. I did the last one I did was the Uncharted collection.
I feel a montage is coming here to Pinball Wizard.
Yammering like Renfield. That's all he's going to be.
Tunnel vision, or should I say, table vision by the end of it.
Do an advert for it if you want. Let's get some music behind you.
Maybe 24 hours.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played him all. But I ain't seen nothing like him. I haven't played this for a long time. This Deaf, Dumb, and Blind Kid sure plays a mean pinball. Okay, well that itself is worth money. Go and donate to Lard just for that bit, and maybe we'll finish the song some other time.
Yeah. If we raise enough, we'll get Steve to come on and play the whole thing for us.
Do that. I will do that. I'm more than happy to do that.
There you go. There's an incentive for you. So on that bombshell, shall we nick that line? Yeah, let's nick that line on that bombshell.
The show doesn't exist anymore.
Well, not with Chris Evans, because he walked. But so thank you very much for joining us.
Sure he walked. I think he might have been pushed. I don't know.
Oh, you mean Matt LeBlanc was like, yeah, seeing as I'm Mr. Hollywood here, I don't really want to work with him anymore.
But I don't know. There were rumours. I don't really want to repeat them, but it was said that it wasn't entirely his choice to go. But...
Mainly because the ratings went, hang on, this isn't Clarkson. Fuck it. Chuck it down and walk away.
But the Grand Tour is going to be out soon, so we'll actually find out. Will a place on Amazon actually be a big thing that draws people to?
Will the money have been worth it?
Yeah.
We'll soon find out.
I mean, personally, I think what the BBC got about with the new cast and crew and everything was that the show isn't really about cars at all. It's about friendship. It's about going back to streaming online. It's the same thing. It's about that camaraderie. I can't even think of the word. That's not
camaraderie.
Comradeship. Yes, camaraderie between the people who were there who were being watched.
Yeah, because you could really see the bond between them, even though they'd left each other whenever their car broke down, because that was a rule.
Yeah, but that's part of it, isn't it? That's the whole thing. It's part of male bonding, and what they did on that show was it was raw male bonding, and I think that's why it just spoke to a lot of people, because it was, you don't see that sort of stuff on TV.
And I love the fact that Clarkson used to get so much shit for some of the stuff he said, but he normally used to say that stuff because he knew it would get a reaction. Because he knew the shit he would say would be like, that's outrageous, how dare. It's like, yeah, and, yeah, My dad used to do that stuff. He used to say stuff to people to just wind them up. You know, he did it on purpose. He said it to us. It's like, like winding him up.
Yeah.
So So on this note, we want to say goodbye. Thank you everyone for joining us in chat, including the troll, because Steve had to experience one for the first time. Which is quite
I think
ironic.
that's my stream though. That's your troll.
We're happy for the view.
If Horse Lady 12 wants to follow Mr. Steven at Twitch TV,
Horse Lady 12.
Yeah.
That's
If you've really got that much of a problem with your voice, you should see a doctor. Not give yourself a Twitter hand.
I would say she hung like a horse lady, but that's just no, that's just weird. No,
That doesn't even work.
My thought is, what happened to the first 11?
They didn't escape the island of Dr. Moreau. That's.
But yeah, let's end it there. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Steve for joining us as a guest. Dude, you're awesome. Thanks to James.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, mate. It's been fun. But on that note, we shall say goodbye. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy this 6-minute video.
Watch out for the unicorn.
It's all in the head. It's all in the head. Shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass in here. Oh yeah, smell that armpit, yeah, yeah. Shake that ass, smell the arm, shake that ass. What's the hand up? Woo!
Two balls, one mouth. I can't fit two balls in my mouth at once.
Magic gloves.
Oh, this one's
I'm
got a
just waiting
little
to see what
nipple on it, look!
And I like the ferocious kind of style of pet. So cat.
We would never have guessed that about Willow, would we, people?
Cat works well.
Now that's a highlight.
That's my sodomy stick.
Sudden stick.
Nice.
Oh, fuck.
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah!
Keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. It's like
Look
they stopped
at that.
playing.
All right, one more to go and we're going to be ahead.
I've just remembered why I don't cook. I just burn myself with an arrow. Oh.
Oh, big bomb. Not as good as my bomb, because I am the bomb.
Humour.
Ara, I think you should go and kill yourself so that we can revive you in your passive health.
Oh, okay.
Yes, good plan. That about there. Beautifully done.
There you go.
Not yet, not yet. It's completely. Oh my god!
Oh,
Do you sodomize the demons? Make them think twice before entering our realm.
Koi's got a dodgy run, hasn't he? I wonder if he did well at PE.
That was an epic fuck up.
Holy shitballs! That's awesome!
There's a barrel.
Oh, there's a barrel. I can't tell when things are happening.
Are you sat in a puddle by any chance?
What?
I am now, yeah.
I didn't realise we had the fucking joke here. Shit, where's Batman when we need him?
let's leave rule 1, never go out at night. They go to someone want to take a shot at that and pass that one to Arrow and say, look, they've got this rule 1 all wrong.
Anyone else?
Oh,
Okay, say I'm not dead.
bollocking hell.
Say I can revive. Say I can revive.
Where's my gargoyle?
There he is.
There's my gargoyle.
Get him, Nibbles.
Harry! Harry! No, it's Harry.
Carry.
Oh, I just missed it. Whoops, I think I've accidentally killed someone.
I've got a new sodomy stick.
Ooh, what?
Sodomy. Cool.
How are you doing this morning?
Not morning anymore.
Oh, how are you doing this afternoon?
Come here. I want to try and test the sodomy stick out. Come back. Come back.
Wow, I went into ball cam all of a sudden, and I couldn't.
You don't do ball cam, do you?
I can't do ball cam.
I do ball cam.
I can do balls in goals occasionally. Oh yes.
Okay,
I'm not pervy. It's just a misunderstood thing about dungeons.
I like touching a good shrine.
You just like touching everything.
I do. Look, I'm touching a dead demon right now.
No, hang on. Well, I'm not getting out that way now, am I?
Oh no.
I got hit. I don't like that at all. I've got to repair that. I can't repair that. He's going to kill me as a result because he's flooding me. Must kill him before he kills me. Oh my goodness.
Riding the demon, is that better or worse than like chasing the dragon?
Look into my eyes! Ah! I want it now, damn it! I want it!
Ah! I've got a thing.
Oh!
Wait, stuff.
I don't think that's the thing either.
He's got a thing.
For somebody.
I've got a thing and I'm not afraid to use
It was just how excited he was about it. Yay! I've got a thing. Is that you? Yes, that's you. Who's that over there? Have we found friends? There are other people on this server.
Oh, I may have ganked that. Sorry.
Does anybody need these barrels? I just need all of them.
I'm just gonna do that.
Oh God!
Drop it.
Ah!
I don't know whether they're the different trolls from a different quest.
From a different mother.
Alvin, please don't watch this stream back.
Sorry about this, people. This is gonna look wrong on the stream. However, I haven't declared and he's eating.
Well, that was something I didn't think that we would hear today. Come here. I want to test the sodomy stick out.